Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Lunch with Linda, and you are now inside Northampton Wools, located in downtown Northampton, Massachusetts. Hello to everybody. Thank you for joining us. We've got a great big, wonderful show planned for you today with a lot of knitting tips as we pulled stuff together to try to talk about today. But the very first thing I want to do is, first of all, wish you a happy April Fool's Day. I hope you don't get fooled, or if you are the kind of fooling around family that somebody plays some really funny pranks on you. I want to send a very special happy birthday to my granddaughter, Ava. Today is her birthday. Yep, she was an April Fool's baby. And she continues to bring all of us so much joy. Today is her 13th birthday. And I know she'll never see this, otherwise she'll die of embarrassment. But welcome to being a teenager, Ava. We hope that you have an absolutely amazing day, filled with wonderful surprises, and that you enjoy being 13 all year long. It doesn't take long for them to grow, that's for sure. I am missing them terribly, but hopefully we'll get to see them this summer. One of the little posts that we put up on Instagram had a plushy cow that I made for her. She has been into cows and cow prints this past year, so I sent that off to her, and she opened it in front of me on Sunday, or Saturday actually, and really loved it. So if you're looking to make something fun, those plushies done with that big fat chenille is one of the things that you might try, because they love them. So there was another emotional chicken born this week.
Aww.
This is Amanda's, and I got this put together for her and all stuffed. So a brand new emotional chicken. She made another one with the colors reversed. She did the purple for the body and then the green for the stripes. And now she has a pair. I don't know if she's gonna keep them as a pair or send them on their own different ways. But that emotional support chicken.
Wait, is that the waddle?
That's the
it's
waddle.
It's a sparkly waddle?
It's a sparkly waddle. Oh, come on. It's a chicken
with a sparkly waddle.
With a sparkly waddle and a sparkly thing up here.
Hair.
I don't know what that called. A comb. A sparkly comb.
Sparkly comb
and a sparkly waddle.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So Amanda, it's adorable. Very cute. Well done.
Colors.
So, those chickens are just having a moment. I feel like I've talked about them all the time, but that pattern still is on the first page of Ravelry, and it's driving lots of other chicken patterns as well. There's been a resurgence in the chicken coaster pattern that is also crocheted, that's been around for a while. I even made them a couple of years ago. So look for those chickens, because for some reason you are going to see more and more chickens out there. And I also have to tell you, the response, especially from young people, and I mean like college age and down, when they come in and see the chickens that we have here, the first thing they do is grab it and hold on to it and talk about, being able to hug it. So don't be afraid, jump in, join the flock.
The chicken craze.
Is it chicken flock? A flock of chickens?
Coop? No, that's where they live.
Yeah, they live in a coop. Flock of chickens.
Brood.
Anyway,
Brood?
a brood of chickens. Who knows?
Something like that.
Who knows? Okay, talking about a resurgence of things. We, as you know, got in a bunch of cotton, and this sweater is done with regular cumulus, which is 100% cotton, and we did it last year. It's the Super Simple Summer Sweater by Hoagie Locatelli. And this is done in the round from the top down. So the only thing that we did differently was, I keep making the wrong hand, is that we cast on with the contrast color, cast on and do one round and then go to the white main color. She did not do that. It's not, the pattern is not written that way. So I did that for our model, and Pat's sweater just got finished, and because she was here in class, she did the same thing with hers. So here it is in a more pastel version. I mean, these stripes are really fun and amazing, and you get this really clean, bright white with any kind of contrast color look. Or these are two shades of basically the same color. This one is not, this top one is not a white, it's a very minty green with a darker mint green. So we still have lots of color combinations for that. If you're looking for a quick to knit, thank you, Kate, a quick to knit project, knit in the round, it's wonderful if you can see it up close, the way the increases kind of line up and make this little decorative stitch right there. Let me pull that in close and then Kate can hold it up. See those? Those are all the increases, and they just add a little touch of something kind of fun. That pattern is available on Valari. Again, it's the Super Simple Summer Sweater by Joji Locatelli, and we do have plenty of that cumulus in stock and ready. It doesn't take that much. I think it was maybe 2 skeins of each color with maybe a 3rd skein. Yeah, that's the color that Pat used. And we've got lots of options for it, depending on what color you want to wear. So it's certainly time to start thinking about your summer projects, as we have stocked cotton in just about every single weight. The other thing that we had last year that I've been showing you lately is the seed stitch shawl. This is done with a yarn called Cumulus Rainbow, and you're going to see a little post this week on Instagram about how I knit it. Once you start to get the length, it gets very heavy on the needle and can be very draggy. And so what I usually do is throw it over my shoulder like that, and then I can knit with it. But there's more details coming on Instagram. What I did want to point out is the problem that I had, or the mistake that I made, or the laziness of my knitting. I wrote the pattern, and it increases up to a certain number of stitches. You're supposed to put a marker there and then knit until you hit or use up all of the yarn. So you hit the end of the skein, which is right here.
Those colors match
Right
the
here.
sweater.
Yep, it looks great together. You're supposed to measure from where the increasing stopped to the end of the skein, where the increasing stopped to the end of the skein. And on this piece, it ended up being about 17.5 inches. Then you start the second skein from the opposite direction. So the first skein I started to knit from the inside. So the second skein I started to knit from the outside, so that the colors are continuous. They're going in the same order as the first skein did.
Like symmetrical.
Symmetrical. So you're supposed to knit the same number of inches as the first piece. So that was 17 inches. I should have knit 17 inches and then started the decrease. I felt like I had a lot of yarn left, and number 1, I wanted to keep going, number 2, and number 3, I just didn't want to stop and measure. That was the mistake. So my even length on the second half is 20 inches. And what that means is that when I got to the end, I didn't have enough yarn to finish.
Oops.
And so I got down to here and then had to bind them all off. Now I'm not going to let it sit like that because it looks a little clunky. I'm going to rip it out and do what I should have done right from the beginning, and stop being so lazy and in a rush. But that's what happens. So follow the directions, read the pattern, get the tape measure out, and take your time. Tip number 1, do what it says. You'll be so much happier. You won't have to knit it 4 times. you'll only have to do it once because it'll be right. But we have lots of fun colors this year. They had a great success with this yarn, so they brought in several new colors. So we sold out of it last year, so we have lots of fun colors this year. And this was the one that I chose to do for this year's project. So we will have that here in the shop, and it will be right, not wrong. Last week I talked to you about the washcloths, showing you the coastal cotton. And although I talked about the washcloths and how great they were, I forgot to tell you what I really wanted to tell you about the washcloths. This is Grandma's favorite washcloth pattern. You can find lots of variations, or lots of different people have written about it and posted patterns on Ravelry. And they're almost all the same in that you start at one corner and you are increasing up to the midpoint and then decreasing to make the second half of the washcloth. It's just a fun way to make a little square in garter stitch. But what most of the patterns say is to yarn over at the beginning and the end of every other row. So you are knitting one or two, then doing a yarn over, knitting until you're almost at the end, doing a yarn over, and then knitting 1 and 2. And then the next row is usually all knit. And even in a small piece like this, it's often difficult to remember because it's so easy, your mind wanders. Am I on a yarn over row or am I on an all knit row? You find the same kind of directions on a triangular shawl. It will have you increase at the beginning and the end of a row, and then the next row, the wrong side row, is usually all knit. And by the time you're up into the 50 or 60, even more stitches for a triangular shawl, you can't remember, did I yarn over or did I not? And when I am faced with that kind of pattern, I always change the directions to increasing at the beginning of every row. So on the right side row, I increase at the beginning and knit all the way to the end. Turn around, and on the wrong side row, increase at the beginning and knit to the end. That way, I don't have to stop and look. I don't have to even think about, did I increase or not? It's always at the beginning of the row. And you can change every pattern that's telling you to do that to that kind of rhythm or increase, as long as you know what you're doing. You cannot change a decrease row like that. If it's having you decrease by doing a slip slip knit at the beginning and a knit 2 together at the end, you don't want to fool around with that. That should stay on the right side row. But that's easier to see and easier to keep track of. But when you're just doing a yarn over increase, or even a make one, or even a knit into the front and back at the beginning and the end, you can change it to always at the beginning, and your piece will come out to be exactly the same as it was supposed to be. So trust me, try it by making one of these little cotton washcloths. A lot of people have come in this week and picked up their favorite colors, because we've got a huge inventory in stock right now of all of the different colors. So if you're in a washcloth mood, those are for you. I was sitting here with Kate this morning, and we were talking about the week and what we wanted to talk about today. And I realized that it's time to really get going with summer models. And last week I showed you quickly the newest Lana Grassa Valari book, and I really fell in love with this sweater. And I had one person in this week, hey Tina, deciding to make this sweater, and I can't wait to see what it looks like. But I decided to start it because we have a new yarn, a new cotton called Camilla, which is by Louisa Harding. And this is an 80% cotton, 10% linen, and 10% viscose. It's solid colors, and it comes in some very bright colors and some more traditional toned down colors. Here are the very bright colors. I just love those together. I actually want this sweater in every color.
Yes.
And I just might fall for it. But I just might, because I wound the yarn up and I started the sweater. I started a sleeve in the orange because this is going to look fantastic in the window. It's a pattern that is oversized and it's only one size in the directions.
Oh.
The reason is that this pattern, this stitch pattern, takes so many stitches to do. You don't really have a lot of room to play around with an inch or two difference in sizes. Even 4 inches is too few overall to really get in the stitches that you need to do the pattern. But this is the first repeat of the pattern, and it's really fun and interesting to do. It will be a challenge to most people because there are a lot of things going on all at once in this. And the thing that I mostly wanted to tell you about was, because the Lana Grassa books are European, you end up seeing a salvage stitch in almost all the patterns. We rarely see a salvage stitch included in American patterns. I don't know why. We're just not in the habit of that. A salvage stitch is the stitch at the beginning, one stitch at the beginning and one stitch at the end of the rows that are not included in the pattern. And there are different ways that you can do a salvage stitch. You can knit it on every row. You can work it in stocking net stitch. So you knit it on the right side, purl it on the wrong side, or you can slip it at the beginning of every row. The actual pattern directions may not tell you what to do. It's up to you. I have been knitting it at the beginning of every row. And the main reason for salvage stitches, especially with lace, is that you have something to sew together. This sweater is knit flat and then sewn together. And if I tried to do it without the salvage stitches, I wouldn't have any solid seam. I wouldn't have any place to really create the seam. So when you see that term salvage stitch, look up in the beginning directions. It might tell you salvage stitch equals slipping the first stitch of every row. It might tell you that salvage stitch means work that stitch in stocking net stitch, but it will not tell you that in the rest of the directions. And like I said, it is not included in the actual pattern. So this pattern reads salvage stitch, it says it, and then it says knit 1, and then the rest of the lace work pattern goes on from there. So that's one of the tips, because American knitters don't run into that very often. We get asked that question quite a bit. So we're definitely going to have this one in orange, and I just might decide to do it in every color so we have a really dramatic window.
If you did a salvage stitch on a non-lace, would it be easier to see where you're sewing?
It's easier, much easier. That's the other reason to do salvage stitches. It really gives you a very clear demarcation between where the edge of the sweater, the edge of the piece is, and where the rest of the sweater begins. And it does make sewing it together very easy. But, you know, with now everybody doing and writing top down in the round patterns, we're moving more and more away from seaming, which isn't always the best thing in my opinion, but we'll talk about that another day. I also wanted to prepare you guys for, I will be here next week and we'll have a live. And then on Wednesday, I leave for Ireland. We have that big group that I'm taking on our Irish adventure. We'll be gone from the 10th to the 20th. And I will be in Ireland for not next Monday, but the Monday after that. And it will be about 5:30 at night. I'm going to try and do a live from Ireland. It all depends on what our Wi-Fi is like and what the connection is like, but I will record something, and you should look for all of my photo dumps. I will be keeping you posted about what I'm doing. If you are sitting there thinking, oh, I wish I had signed up for Ireland, I want to tell you about our 2025 trip. I have been invited to teach at a place called the Watermill in Posara, Italy. And you can look at that at their website, the Watermill at Posara. And it will show you the gorgeous kind of like villa, not a hotel, but a villa where you stay. They do painting weeks, knitting and crocheting weeks, and they do Italian language weeks where you come and you stay for the week. So the week that I am there is May 17th to the 24th. It's a very limited number of people that they can accommodate. They can only fit 18 people around the dining room. And so they have to have a limit of 18 people that can go. We already have about 8 people signed up for it. And you can find out all about it at the website. They do have my class listed. And if you decide to go, if you contact them before August, you will get the 2024 price, not the 2025 price. The price that is on their site is the price for the accommodation, for all of your meals, for my knitting class every single day. And then what makes this place really special is that they take you on a tour through that region every single day. You're doing something different and something fun. It is, I think, an incredible trip. If you're interested in finding out more about it, check the website out. Give me a call or shoot me an email. I'll tell you what I know and what you need to do in order to secure your place. I will be talking more about it when I come back from Ireland because we'll have a better idea of just how many openings there are. But think about it. And I can tell you quickly this, the cost for the week there is about $2,100 to $2,200. That does not include your flight. You have to get your own flight there and back. But for that price, just that whole week, plus you get me, undivided attention for the week as well, I think is a pretty good deal. So look for that if you're interested in traveling with us. And then there was a big delivery of Valari pillows. So if you were one of the first to put your order in and you have gotten your pillow, I hope you've had time to try it out. I want to hear about it. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you are using it for. I want to know what a difference it's made in your knitting. You know that Kate got the Epic pillow and she was going to bring it in.
Rare.
Oh, sorry. I can't keep them straight. There are 3 levels. Kate got the Rare pillow, which is about $59. She was going to bring it in today, but she forgot it. I ordered the Epic for at home, and that's what this one is.
Nope, that's the Legendary.
No, cheapers. I'm sorry.
Okay.
This is the Legendary. Okay, Rare, $59.
Yeah.
Legendary, $79. Yeah. And Epic is the top of the line. That's the one I have here at the store.
Yeah.
This is the one that you can get a customized cover for. Okay. Yeah. I brought them both in. I brought mine from home in so that we could compare the difference. We just did a couple of measurements. This mid-size one measures 24 inches around the middle, the circumference of it, right around here.
Yep.
The Epic pillow measured 25 inches around the middle. And you can kind of feel the difference in the weight. It's not much, there isn't much difference in the length, you know, the curvature around, but it does seem to be a bit of a difference in the amount of stuffing. Mm-hmm. Kate will measure hers when she goes home today. We're guessing that it's probably around 23 inches around. And the main difference is in the snap, the closure for the thing on the back. This Legendary and the Epic both come with metal clasps, and the original cover,
this right here,
I'm sitting on it, comes with a smaller plastic clasp. That's the main difference that we can see. This is the cover that came on the Epic, but I ordered the embroidered one as well.
And the rare pillow comes with the plastic.
With the plastic cover.
That's the one I got.
Does it have a cover?
No, it comes with the cover, but the cover has the plastic. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Here we go.
Step back.
Oh, Kate! Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Well, that would have been funny.
I thought you were gonna step back.
Okay, so you could knit with both of them on, but I think you would get pretty tired. I have been using them a lot. I have really, not both together like that. I have been using, especially this one here at the store, when I do have a chance to knit at the store, and it really is making a difference in my shoulder and the amount of pain and stress. And we were talking about this the other day here in the shop with somebody who was trying it out. And what both Kate and I realized is that just having this pillow in your lap is giving us this like comfort level. And I think it actually has to do with warmth around your most vulnerable part of your body. Is your abdomen, and having the weight and the warmth
And
around
the shield.
And the protection,
Yeah.
it hits some kind of core need inside your whole body, because I can sit there without any knitting and just be really happy with it on as well. So if you got one, please let us know what you think. And if you're curious about it, come on in. You're welcome to try the Epic, because this will stay here. I'm taking my Legendary home because now I can't knit without it at home. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel. And they're running a special. I don't know how much further into the week it will go, but they were advertising an Easter special of they had a $70 gift pack that you got for free. Well, it was a pattern for a crocheted something, like, I'm going to say chicken, but it wasn't a chicken. It was some kind of free crochet pattern, because crocheters jumped on this before knitters did. And what's interesting, if you go to their website, when you go to their website, you'll see down the bottom, they have 4 crocheters with a ball of yarn and knitting needles in it. Typical. And a posture. Oh yeah, a free video consultation about your posture, and then a free card with posture suggestions. And that is the other thing that all of us have noticed that have been using it, is it does immediately change your posture from this to this, and lines that back of your neck up in a much straighter line, so you're much more comfortable. And I think that there was some other silly little thing that came in this $70 value free thing. But go to our website. You can we have a link there that takes you directly to their website, and you can use that discount code to get a discount off the price of the pillow, 15%, and we get a little bit of that too, just for helping you find your way there. So I'm looking forward to hearing from that first wave of people, and they did say that they're getting a big restock the end of this week. So if you haven't gotten your pillow yet, you should be getting it relatively soon. So we are in store for a sort of miserable week as far as sunlight goes. But hopefully you will use that time well, because it's still, I'm going to keep saying it, it's still too early to go out in the garden. Don't go out in the garden. Go knit something. Bye.